Okay, so the pronunciations I will go through for you, easy for you to pronounce that. First one should be easy, right? Yama. The top one is the first one and it's going clockwise. Yama. And then Niyama. I think if you are in AST or in some of the studios, you will find the studio names with these. Yeah? Asana. Asana is the one that we are most closely related to. Pranayama. Prat. Ya. Ha. Ra. Pratyahara. Pratyahara. 4 syllables. 4 sounds. Pratyahara. Yes. That one. Dha. Ra. Na. Dharana. What you are all trying to do now is dharana. Concentration. You are all trying. You are all in the pursuit of dharana right now. You are trying to concentrate what I am saying, not drift off to somewhere else. Dhya. Na. Dhyana. And the word, supposedly the word Zen comes from dhyana. Dhya, Zen, it became. Dhya, Zen, it became. When it traveled from India to somewhere else. So dhyana or Zen is the same thing. Last one, Samadhi. The first 7 are done for the 8th one. Do you understand the concept? We do the first 7 to achieve the 8th one. First 7 is a practice. 8 is a state of being. Do you understand? First 7 are elements of practice. The 8th one, Samadhi, is not a practice but a state of being. You cannot do something and get there, but you just get there because you have been doing something. Understand what I mean? You just get there. It just happens. Samadhi is not something like, okay, for sure shot, if I'm going to do 200 hours of meditation, I'm going to get Samadhi. No. Maybe no. Maybe you get it after 1 minute. You don't know. So it's something that you need to go through these steps to attain Samadhi. Okay? So, what is Yama? Do's. Oh, it's not mentioned here. Okay, I'm going into that. Okay. Page number 13, Sapsang. BG, you have it in the book?
No, another page.
Just the next one.
Yeah.
I mean, even that page has the yamas. So, the ethical standards of yoga means, I think these are the basic, I will call them as don'ts of yoga. The basic don'ts of yoga. Okay. So, ahimsa. Ahimsa, the first one. Ahimsa means violence. Anytime you hear Sanskrit words starting with a, it's a, like in Chinese you have ng, is the same, negative. So ahimsa, not violent or non-violence. The first thing is that you should be non-violent. Non-violent doesn't only permit to physical violence, it could be physical, mental, verbal, emotional violence. Satya, truth. Truth and I will also say honesty in a way. Both are needed in that Satya. Truth and honesty. One of the most difficult things to maintain in life. You cannot always be true. It's very difficult. Situationally, I think in a day, on average, I think minimum we lie 20 times. Situational lies. How are you? I'm good. That's the biggest lie. Frankly speaking, that's the biggest lie. Many people. How are you? I'm good. Somebody makes you a coffee and gives you, you don't like it, but you like that person. How was the coffee? Oh, very nice. Right? Next, again you see the next one is starting with asteya. Non-stealing. Not stealing. Okay? Not taking things that belong to somebody else. It could also be, nowadays it also means copyright infringement. Right? So if you are posting some video, you need to be careful. You have to practice asteya. Brahmacharya is a very Brahmacharya. Four syllables. Brahmacharya. 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 Yes. Self-containment, and a lot of texts, or if you Google this word, it may pop up saying celibacy. It's not. Celibacy means refraining from sex. Okay, it is not. Okay, it could be one of the ways, controlling, but it's not just the only way of practicing brahmacharya. Okay. Self-containing, basically you are happy with what you have, and you are not avaricious, you are not greedy. There you are practicing brahmacharya. Okay. Aparigraha. 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 Yes. Non-hoarding. What is hoarding? Can anybody tell me what's hoarding? Hey, what's that name of the famous Japanese lady who wrote a book about Mary what? The Komari method. She's really helping people to practice aparigraha, non-hoarding. Yeah. Hoarding means having things more than what we need. Mary Kondo, Mary Kondo? Yes. Organizing stuff and getting rid of things that you don't need. I am not joking. Recently I was rearranging my shelf. I found 3 t-shirts with the label still on, and I don't remember when I bought them. That means for the last 3-4 years I have been having these t-shirts. At that time I thought they are very useful and very beautiful, but till now I didn't use them. And I think I'm not the only one in that situation. If you go home and search, a lot of things, t-shirts, pants, I don't know, cell phones nowadays, I don't know what. You will have things that you have in the house which you don't need. Okay, so yoga, one of the main things that teaches you is that don't keep things that you don't need. Too much of things. Just the minimum required. And I have seen a very good example of practice of aparigraha in my house, my father. he I think from the age of around 35, 40, when he attained that age, at least I was born after he started doing that. I've only seen my father wearing only white shirt, white pant, and he only had 4 pairs of them, I think, his whole life, from the age of around 35, 40. Okay, and that is, this I'm trying my best. In my house, I only have one shelf for myself. The rest is for the rest of the family. So it's not easy, okay, especially when you live in a city. You have to dress in a certain way, or summer dress, winter dress, whatever, all these things. But apart from the bare minimum, you go home, notice for yourself, open your shelves and see, do I really need so many? A lot of times we have things which are just too much. That is aparikrama. Okay, so that's one of the don'ts. Don't hoard. Okay. Next, niyamas. Niyamas I will say as the do's of yoga. Things that you need to do. Out of which the first one is saucha. In India, a toilet is called as a sauchalaya. Okay, alaya means temple. Saucha means cleanliness, a temple of cleanliness. No, it's just a toilet. Okay, and this cleanliness is of course physical cleanliness. Before you start practicing yoga, you need to be clean. After you finish practicing yoga, you definitely should take a shower, right? So cleanliness of the body and cleanliness of the mind. To practice yoga, you should have a clean mind. What is the meaning of that? To practice yoga, you should have a clean mind. Means you are only going to the yoga class to practice yoga, not with other intentions. Because that could happen. Santosha. San-to-sha. Contentment or happiness. It relates to aparigraha, okay, being content with what you have or being content with what you are. That is very difficult, again a matter of stress for many people. That's why we hear of so many cases of depression or so many other issues, mental issues, is most of the times because of lack of contentment. We will think sometimes, oh, getting a lot of money will make us happy. But many times it's not the case. We should find things that give us contentment. Whether it is singing, doing yoga practice, doing whatever, to find the contentment. Tapas. Ta, not the ones that you find in the Spanish restaurant. Not the tapas, okay? Okay? It's not that one. This one, tapas, is discipline. Means telling yourself every week I will do 3 classes, 4 classes, that is tapas. Or sometimes you will tell yourself every day I will get up at 6:30. That's tapas. I'm just giving an example. I'm not telling you have to get up at 6:30. Just saying whatever you put as a matter of discipline by yourself. Like right now I'm doing a different tapas which is extremely difficult for me. I love sweets, but I love cakes, anything brown. I'm attracted to chocolate, but I'm trying now to do a 64-day detox for myself. I've started on September 1st until Diwali. We have an Indian festival called Diwali, which is on the 4th of November. I'm not eating white sugar, I'm not eating any of those things. So that's tapas. Okay. So what you do, diets sometimes, they are all tapas, part of tapas. Okay. Good. Next is Swadhyaya. Swadhyaya. This word is made up of 2 different words, swaha and adhyaya. Swa, S-V-A, Swa. And then Adhyaya, A-D-H-Y-A-Y-A. Swa is self. Adhyaya means study. Self-study, self. Oh, that's what it says, self-study. Yes. Adhyaya means study. So you are doing yoga dhyaya. Yoga study. So that means, you know, yoga dhyayis. So what is self-study? Noticing your body, your mind, your thoughts, your breath while you practice yoga. That is Swadhyaya. Noticing yourself, not in the mirror, not just noticing that my hair is longer, I have beard, not those things, but inside. Last one, Ishvara, Ishvara, Ishvara. Yeah. Pranidhana. Pranidhana. Ishvara Pranidhana. That is devotion to a higher power. Remember I said devotion to God or higher power. So it need not be a particular religious God. Okay? It could also be whomever or whatever you consider as a higher power. If you consider the sun, which is part of the nature, to be a higher power and you are only praying to that, it's also Ishvara Pranidhana. Third part, after we finish Yama and Niyama, is Asana, which you are all studying, and the definition that I gave earlier is mentioned here. Stiram Sukham Asana. Stable, comfortable position of the body is posture. Then you have Pranayama. Pranayama, I think, which is a subject that your teacher is teaching separately. I won't go into details about it. It's a regulation and expansion and control of breath, basically. Breath work is pranayama. So all these four, the first four, are called as Bahir Yoga. Bahir. B-A-H-I-R. If you see, there's a big bracket and it says on the outside Bahir Yoga. Bahir means external yoga. This is yoga which is visible. Visible, tangible yoga is Bahir Yoga. The last four is more esoteric, more internal yoga. Antar Yoga, including the fifth one called as Pratyahara. What does it mean by sensory withdrawal or transcendence? Give me an example of it. Just give me an example of sensory withdrawal. One way, if you close your eyes, one sense is withdrawn. Visual sense. Sometimes you don't even close your eyes, but you can withdraw. Means you are not reacting to what you are seeing, but you are just gazing. Okay? Or you are in a classroom and outside a lot of sound is going on, but you are still focused in the class. You are withdrawing your sense from external sounds. When you do Shavasana, for example, you have to practice Pratyahara. You shouldn't react to sound or all those things when you are practicing Shavasana. Okay? Smells, all those things. And remember, I mentioned about yogis who can bear extreme heat and all, they are practicing Pratyahara, basically, sensory withdrawal. I've seen a Facebook or YouTube clipping of a guy in Europe. He he just jumps into those little holes in the ice. Sometimes there is a hole, and he just jump in there, and with just a small short briefs he is wearing, and he can stay there. It's like nothing. He comes out still. His temperature they check is normal. It's a way of creating that heat and controlling the sense of not feeling cold on his skin. Right? So it's another case of Pratyahara. You hear all those things a lot of times. Then we have Dharana. Dharana. And concentration. Concentration, there are many methods of concentration. One is you find a physical object to concentrate upon. Sometimes you will find a mental object like a flame or a visualization to concentrate upon. Okay? Or sometimes you use sound, mantra, for concentration. Or sometimes people you will see beads, rosary beads, 108 beads. That is also a way of developing the concentration. Okay, so all these are methods of concentration. Dhyana. Dhyana is when you have sustained concentration, it is meditation. When you can sustain your concentration or focus upon a certain aspect, that becomes meditation. So you have an object, whether it is a mantra, a sound, a bead, or a flame, or whatever it is, you are focusing on that and you are sustaining it, then you are meditating. Okay? So you are not affected by outside sounds or anything, you are meditating at that time. And Samadhi, the last one, is when yourself and the point on which you are meditating become one. They are not two separate entities. It's all one. Then it is Samadhi. So,